Hello guys and welcome to MotorBeam. This one is the Hero Xtreme 250, the most beautiful 250 right now, the most attractive one. ये golden forks अगर देख रहे हो क्या cool दिखती है ये. But this one compares with the Pulsar N250, the KTM Duke 250 and even the Suzuki Gixxer 250. So let's compare this, and the price bracket that this one fits in comes at 2,15,000 rupees on road Mumbai. The N250 is cheaper while the other two are costlier by 20,000 and 50,000. Which one should you buy and why? I'll tell you in today's video. But before you do that, subscribe to MotorBeam and don't forget to hit the bell icon, yeah? In today's video, we'll consider three other bikes. Actually, two other bikes. One is the Pulsar N250. Second is the Gixxer 250, comparing with the Xtreme 250R. Now we can also bring in the Pulsar NS400 because NS400 comes at a very good price of 2,35,000 आसपास on road Mumbai, which is just 20,000 more than the price of the Xtreme 250R. However, the motorcycle, the Pulsar NS400Z, has a little too extra power. It is a 400 package, and to be very honest, it is a little too much to be in this price category. But then again, if you want outright performance, सब छोड़ दो, NS400 ले लो, मजा आएगा. But then again, if you don't want that too much performance, if you don't want that unfinished business going around, let the NS400 be aside. We'll talk about the Pulsar N250, the Hero Xtreme 250R and the Suzuki Gixxer 250. Now the Gixxer 250 has been in the market since a very long time. Uska dynamics, uska performance, the whole balance of the motorcycle, the way it performs has been there since a very long time. There has been no update to it as such, only color changes here and there, and the Gixxer is the costliest right now in the three, coming at 2,30,000 rupees on road Mumbai. It gets multiple Ride Connect variants, it gets a standard variant also. Ride Connect में you get a digital cluster, LCD again, no TFT as well. LCD उसमें आपको navigation दिख जाएगा, and that's about it. But then again, it does the job without having problems. Suzuki has been known for its smoothness, and the Gixxer 250 is super duper smooth. So if you want something that has that Japanese feel all around, yes, there was a time when Honda had that with the CBR 250. The same feel feedback goes around with the Gixxer 250 in terms of smoothness. Although performance is not as much, but the numbers match up to it too. If you talk about the price of the N250, the Pulsar sits in way cheaper, almost 30,000 rupees cheaper at 1,85,000 rupees on road Mumbai for a dual channel ABS version. So your price budget is even tighter. Consider the Pulsar. It is a very good bike with decent set of dynamics too, and the projector headlight setup of the Pulsar is the best among all the three. I will actually say this, that the projector setup on the Xtreme is good, no doubts. It gets the projector LED high beam का setup मिल जाता है, and it gets a good view. But the projector on the Pulsar gives a better view. It has better illumination and it feels nice. And it is just a single projector, bigger unit, high beam, low beam function एक ही साथ हो जाता है, and the illumination is pitch perfect. But then again, the Gixxer का headlight, which gets slotted LEDs, is a little bit better because of the focused nature. यहाँ पे आपको ride करते करते रात को, if you want that focused headlight and not a wider spread which you get on the projectors, the focused headlight, the illumination is even more brighter on the Gixxer. So I will say that Gixxer takes a step up for the extra price. Now in terms of performance, the engine is the best over here for the Xtreme. Xtreme has the maximum power output, maximum torque output, and it is the most powerful here amongst the three. Plus the 0 to 100 numbers have been impressive, close to 8.5 seconds for my weight, which is just insane. Followed up with the performance figures from the Gixxer, because it is somewhere close to 26 bhp and 22 Nm of torque, while the Pulsar N250 is a little bit lower at 24 bhp and 21 Nm of torque. So ज़्यादा power में difference नहीं है. The Pulsar being the slowest here, the Xtreme being the fastest, and the Gixxer has a very good balance of throttle response. But then the case changes altogether because the weight of the Xtreme is the heaviest at 167 kg. The Pulsar stays at 162, while the Gixxer at 156 kg, making it almost 10 kg lighter than the Xtreme. So the performance difference जो है वो almost match up हो जाता है. And then comes the ergonomic set, where you want to sit on the motorcycle, ride it. You will find the maximum amount of comfort here on the Pulsar N250 because it is one of the most comfortable motorcycles of the three. It is one of the most accessible too, because the seat height of the Pulsar is 795. The Gixxer has a seat height of 800, and the 806 mm seat height of the Xtreme will be a little bit of an effort, while the handlebar is the furthest away for the Xtreme, so you will have to slightly lean in when you are riding the motorcycle. So over here, the most demanding but not as demanding is the Xtreme 250. A little bit comfortable, although quite dynamic, is the Gixxer, and the most comfortable over here is the Pulsar. Tires on all the three motorcycles for the front is a 110 section rubber, while the Pulsar gets a 140 section rear. However, the Gixxer and the Xtreme get a 150 section rear. suspension set on all the three motorcycles is very differently sprung. The Gixxer has a harder suspension set, although it takes in bumps and it is not that bad. The front suspension works really nicely while you get a decent amount of feedback from the rear monoshock. The Xtreme over here has gas charged rear monoshock and it handles bumps quite nicely, although it gives out decent amount of feedback, while the Pulsar is one of the most comfortable with the softest suspension set compared to the other two. Braking duties are managed by discs on all the motorcycles over here. Dual channel ABS is also standard. The Xtreme over here gets the biggest front disc, which is 320 mm. However, the best braking feedback that you can expect is from the Gixxer, because the sharpness of the brakes is so much better and the feedback is comparatively better on the Gixxer. The Xtreme does it well, but the FX1 tire that is there on it does not do justice actually to the motorcycle, the capabilities of the motorcycle. Hence, the braking feedback of the Xtreme is not as sharp. You will still be okay and happy with the Pulsar because it is almost the same as the Xtreme and it does not delay too much. I got close to 31 kilometers per liter on the Xtreme as a mileage figure, while it has the smallest fuel tank of 11.5 liters, and that is very disappointing. On the Gixxer, when we had been riding, we were getting close to 32 kilometers per liter, so not much of a difference, and the fuel tank is 12 liters, so almost the same range, little bit more maybe. The Pulsar on the other hand has had the best mileage. The N250 could return close to 34 kilometers per liter on our test. We had the motorcycle for almost 3 months, and at that time the 14 liter fuel tank with that extra mileage always gave us a better hand on having a slightly larger range. So that is a good possibility that if you want a 250cc motorcycle for a little bit longer riding, you want to go longer distances, and at that time you are not looking for dynamics or looks or anything, you want a purpose-built motorcycle under the price bracket of 2 lakh rupees, and that is where the Pulsar fits in right at 1,85,000. If you are pushing or putting a little more money, then the Gixxer is a good option. It has been proven, but there have been only color changes and it is an older motorcycle. Last but not the least is a very good package over here with the Xtreme 250R. It is the most beautiful looking motorcycle. The canvas is nice, the overall design language is very nice, diamond cut wheels look quite nice, and the overall feel feedback is decently aggressive. So if you want a proper show-off motorcycle for 2,15,000 rupees, the Xtreme is a very good pick. Otherwise, you can always step down, keep under 2 lakhs and get yourself a 300, and that is nothing else but the Honda CB300F. It is a perfect motorcycle over here that competes with all the three, has a little more power, and is a very well built motorcycle. So if you're looking for a complete package, the Honda CB300F is the wild card here, because its price is ekdam perfect ho jata hai, and it goes a segment above being a 300cc bike. In terms of service network, Hero is probably the best service network, hence Hero wins again. But then again, purchasing is a problem because you can only buy the Hero Xtreme at the Hero Premia showrooms, which is close to just 60 all over India right now, and they are going to go up with numbers, but then again it is limited. For the Gixxer, that is also another problem because you can only buy the Suzuki Gixxer, the bike, at the bike zones from Suzuki, which are a lot more than the Hero Premia, but then again not as much as the Bajaj showroom, because you can buy the N250 at each and every Bajaj showroom. It is not like a premium alag ho jayega, ye alag ho jayega. N250 will be available anywhere. But then again, service mein Xtreme best, second is the Bajaj, and third is Suzuki. So this was a quick comparison between the three motorcycles, while I brought you in another wild card which fits in the 300cc segment. Now these are all aggressive looking, dynamically looking, naked modern motorcycles. But then again, if you're considering a classic set of motorcycles, then that is a different category altogether. So CB350, Classic 350, ये सबको consider मत करना यहाँ पे, वो अलग हो जाती हैं. Same price bracket में आती हैं, but they are for different purpose. They ride in a very different manner. The engine performs in a very different manner. So if you guys have any doubts about any kind of motorcycle that you want to look out for, or if you have anything more that you want to know between the three, that which one should you pick, you can always DM me on Instagram, you can put down your comments and I'll try to help you out. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you in the next one. Bye bye.